Hello everybody, welcome back to the world of Pierre, Hedary and the vintage Mercedes-Benz. And our subscribership is going up, and so we really appreciate it. Keep subscribing, please keep liking us and keep sharing. Our first video today is for David in Dublin, who is at 86-190. Notice that I did not say E, that is a carbureted W201, and it uses the infamous Solex 175 CDT carburetor. Now in my hand, I'm holding a Zenith carburetor, but more on that later. We're going to talk about choke settings and how Mercedes sets up their chokes. So in the case rather of the choke on a Mercedes, you're going to see these three little rings, and they're pretty much these little set screws, and they're pretty much the same for a Stromberg 175. 1, 2, 3. When you loosen those, you can actually rotate this choke housing to the left or to the right. Now there are a couple things I want you guys to see. Right here is a mark, and then right here is a mark. So when you loosen this thing up and you rotate the choke housing, you ideally want this mark and this mark to be aligned. But in the real world, as things deteriorate, sometimes you have to make adjustments. So rotating the choke housing backwards, counterclockwise, will supposedly lean it out. And rotating the choke housing forwards will richen it up. If your choke spring is weak, because this uses a temperature sensitive coil spring, and you feel that the car's cold starting behavior is not good, especially if you're in a pretty cold climate, you might want to rotate this forward. Meanwhile, if you're in a warm climate and you feel like the car's fouling plugs, it's just burning too much fuel, it's getting black smoke, you can rotate this backwards a little bit. Now, one of the problems that people with the 190 and similar cars with a stronger carburetor have is a long choke warm-up time. This long choke warm-up time is attributable to poor coolant circulation and poor coolant warm-up. And so if you were driving a car like this and you notice that your engine temperature is taking a long time to get up, the thing to do isn't to adjust your choke, it's actually to replace your engine thermostat to ensure that the engine has the fastest warm-up time possible. Also make sure that your electromagnetic fan clutch is not constantly engaged. And then finally, you're going to want to make sure that your cooling water lines of the choke are clear and free of rust or corrosion, which does happen quite a bit on the M102 engine. So remember this, especially speaking to you, David, those two lines, I'd like to know if they're totally clear or not, because if you don't have ample coolant flowing through them, then you're not going to have a fast engine warm-up time. Anyway, for more questions like this, especially when you think the problem is one thing and it turns out to be another, send them to us, because we'd love to share our experience with you. And in the meantime, again, let's keep the subscriptions up and keep taking care of those vintage Mercedes. Thanks and have a great day.